The Pip-Boy has been a staple of the Fallout franchise ever since it was introduced in Fallout 1 all the way back in 1997. Now, if you're not familiar with the Fallout franchise or what a Pip-Boy is, basically it stands for Personal Information Processor, and it was a wrist or arm worn device used to help the player in, I believe, every of the Fallout games that have come out since 1997. Obviously the idea has evolved over the years, but the main concept is you could manage your player statistics, so your health, your armor, your inventory, data from data chips you could find lying around, a map of where you are, and you could access radio, which you could either have broadcasts of music from the local area or transmissions from people in danger that needed a bit of help. Now, the reason I'm mentioning the Pip-Boy from the Fallout franchise is a while back I wanted to create a piece of software that would serve as kind of like a Pokédex, but for trading cards, where I could scan a group of cards and it would turn the card green if I don't got it, red if I've got it, yellow if I've got it but the condition is marked as awful, and I could do with replacing the one that I currently own. And well, over the course of sort of mapping that out and trying to figure out what's the best way to make such a thing, the idea kind of spiraled into something that did actually turn out in concept Pip-Boy-esque. So I thought, well, why not make it but have it more inspired by a Pip-Boy itself? That way what it is kind of ended up looking like in concept would be what it actually looks like in reality, and I could then further develop it after I've got the personal version that I want to use into an actual Pip-Boy type thing that I can just put out there as a, hey look, this is a cool thing I've made. Now, I've made a concept, it's not a good concept, I will admit. I made it with PHP, so it is technically a website that's just being run on my phone, but I'll chalk up like a little demo on the screen. But essentially it is just the basic bits, so like statistic, inventory, data, map and radio. I've kept those three, and then on inventory I've got an in-house sort of list of, I put games that I own up there, so I could track those as just an example piece of data. However, while it is a concept, it's not great and it doesn't really fit where I want the project to be. So obviously it's good for a concept, but I now need to develop it further to actually realise the kind of thing I wanted to make. And by doing that, it's not going to be making a little crappy website that I would load on my phone. It would be making it with legitimate code and building an in-house database, because I've spent a while categorising stuff that I'd want to have in the inventory section into Excel files in a sort of a coherent format that's similar throughout everything, that I could just print it out on the screen. The other issue is, as it is a Pip-Boy style device, the software would be made so that the device is wrist worn. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually looked into the market of wrist phone straps, but the options are sparse and half of them aren't that good. I actually looked at one just to purely see how it would look with the concept, and the main issue with it is that it kind of sticks far off your wrist and it's bulky and it's awful. And on top of that, it's only kept on with a Velcro strap, which with one big pull it kind of slides off, which defeats the purpose if it can just slide off your wrist if, I don't know, you accidentally catch your arm on something and it undoes the strap, and then obviously your device falls off. So again, for a concept sort of mount, that also was a poor idea. So going forward with the version 1 of the code, I would also look for a better design in wrist strap. Now, I do plan on making a working version roughly in the next month. I will do a follow-up video if I have managed to get a working version going, showing it off, and then obviously I will start working on turning it into an actual Pip-Boy. What I would want to do with the actual Pip-Boy is obviously tone down what I've got for myself, because obviously you're not going to need the bits that I've personalised for me, but obviously chock it full of references to the games and maybe the series, but maybe make 2 versions. So I'm not entirely sure how I would do it. Again, this is all realm of concept as I'm currently speaking, but maybe make a version where all the radio songs are just chopped in, radio chatter, you can just select what you want, and then maybe make an optional version where, depending on where you are, it would activate the same noise. So say you happen to test the code in Vegas, in a specific area, it would trigger the radio from Fallout New Vegas, or some of the random sort of audio chatter, that sort of concept. It would use like the location on the device to determine, okay, you know, I'm here, this is what I should play, as just, I don't know, like just a novelty piece of code, to be honest. But that's just like if I can get the main bit working, then I'll make this sort of side bit just as like hey look, this was a cool thing, and then just put it on GitHub or something like that. So there is a decent amount of work to make this concept into something that's actually functional, and or something that would be warranted of use. But the main goal of it is to have a device where I can track inventory of certain bits and just have a built-in radio feature. Maybe not with detecting radio signals, but maybe just put specific things on there to act as a radio. Maybe just taking the radio from one of the games and putting it into the code to have a radio-like effect, in a way. But that's sort of the entire concept as a whole, as of speaking. Obviously the concept will probably evolve a little bit between now and having the actual code working and in my hands, but what doesn't change whilst you're developing it. So thanks for watching. Linked on the end card will be the last video I did about a project I'm still working on. I did shelve that project, yes. However, I sort of unshelved it in a moment of power outage and boredom, and I'm toying with the idea of maybe integrating it with this device as like a housing unit, but also just to have like a voice activation feature on it. I'm not sure whether I want to make the AI and then integrate it, or if I just want to make a voice control feature and put it on the device itself. I'm not sure which way I want to fall with that yet. And linked in the description is my website and portfolio Instagram account, where I do sometimes post updates on things I'm working on or things I've done. So thanks for watching, goodbye.